So, hey everyone, I welcome you all to today's Meshery development meeting. Today is 24th July 2024, and we will be discussing uh, many things in today's meeting and the agenda items. So, if you are new to today's call, let me give you a small introduction what Meshery is and what we do in Meshery development meeting. So, Meshery is a cloud native manager which helps you to manage your infrastructure. uh, of course, there's many features that you can explore, like collaborations and the publishing designs, which you can go and explore on the docs.meshery.io. So, in today's meeting, we usually discuss the features, bugs, and any announcement from the community members, managers, or maintainers. So, yeah, that's what we do in today's meeting. So, before moving to agenda items, we do have a couple of housekeeping items. One is that you add your name in the attendees list in the meeting minutes. Someone will share the link of the meeting minutes in the link in the chat so that you can add your name. And the other agenda item is that we usually allow or encourage the newcomers to introduce themselves in the meeting because this is a right opportunity for you to connect with the maintainers. So I will give some space for if you are new, I will give some space for you to introduce yourself. You can share anything like what's your name, maybe where are you calling from, and what you do, anything. So, Ankita, I think you are joining Meshery development meeting first time. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, hi there. Yes, it's my first time joining this call. I'll have a quick intro. So, hey everyone, this is Ankita, and I am a recent undergrad. I hail from Bhubaneswar, Odisha, in India. And yes, my tech stack is basically in and around front end web development, but I love exploring new stuff. So here I am exploring Meshery and Layer 5 and the projects that they have. I guess that would suffice. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankita. That nice to have you here. We surely will discuss many things and maybe an item for you too. So, Shrestha, I guess you are also new to today's call. Maybe you would like to
Yeah,
introduce yourself.
yeah. Hey everyone. I'm from Bangalore, India, and I'm currently in my first year of computer science undergrad. I'm currently learning web development and MERN basically in my coursework, but I'm also exploring open source and whatever there is. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Srisha. Well, nice to have you here. Someone is from Bangalore. Okay, so Vijay, maybe you would like to go next and share about yourself. In case you are not able to unmute yourself, you can always introduce yourself in the chat. Uh, Also, I will encourage you to open your webcam if possible, because it's always nice to connect with the faces instead of the voices. So, okay, Shreya, maybe you would like to introduce? Okay, I guess they might be having issues with audio. And all the other faces are familiar, so let's move to the agenda items. So first agenda item is from Moin on display registry logs.
Yeah. Hey, hi everyone.
Hey, you can share it.
Yeah. Okay. So just a minute. Okay. So yeah, the background of it is related to. Let me share a background of it. So basically, we are having specific logs related to registrations via notification, and if you click on to this view button, you will find those logs. So the thing is pretty simple. I just need to display those logs in settings, registry, and yeah, so it's a 908 later it is. So I just need to display these logs over here. But basically, I was having the point of just adding it to the agenda items, like I want to have a review from you guys. Like, am I doing the right thing, or any sort of suggestions other than it? So yeah, here's my code. So yeah, Abid suggested me like a couple of weeks ago that previously I was using Redux store for to fetch the events and then to display those logs. And he suggested me via GitHub that can we just use RTK API. So I used that API over here, and yeah, that's it. So I've used basically we got two things. The first thing that I fetched the events from that API, and then I just displayed those events. Basically, use the output or the response of first API as an input of the second API and displaying those logs. So is it okay?
Is the given feedback is incorporated also the UI, like I think it was discussed that we will be showing the logs inside each. If log is related to to that model, we will be showing that to its details section of the model, I guess, in the registry page.
Okay. So okay, let me show you that PR as well. So here
Okay.
it is.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was assigned like a couple of weeks ago, 3 to 4 weeks ago by Slope. So maybe
Yeah.
we can.
Mine. So what you need to do is you'll need to show that logs in a form of terminal under the registry page, but there should be an icon, a button basically. Whenever you click that button, then only those logs should be fetched, and then only you should show those logs. So yeah, it will be a sort of terminal, and on a terminal you can see those logs, but it should be only when you click on that particular button to fetch those logs, not every time the event is sent. So yeah, I had a discussion with Lee, and we decided that that was the best way to inculcate that.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, that made uh, my way more easier. So okay, I'll basically I've not been focusing on that part. Was just focusing on the fetching part. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Flo.
The fetching seems to be good. Means, but yeah, basically, if you do that thing, that we have a button, and while hitting the button, we can get the data. So yeah, that would be nice. And it should be
Thank
in a form of
Okay,
terminal.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Moin. Is there any other item that you want to discuss?
Yeah, no, there are not any other items. Just basically, I got one more issue, but I'll discuss that while it's like no worries. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so next item is from Rahul. Rahul, would you like to share about your update on pattern import log statement improved? Is Rahul with us today? Okay, I don't think so. We will circle back if he joined the meeting. Senthil, would you like to share about your update?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you can share your screen.
sure. Well, my update is from the CI. I have covered the E2 test for the navbar section, which covers the two scenarios. One is authentication download, and another one is a logout from the Meshery. So maybe I share the demo as well. Yeah, it successfully covered the two scenarios. And I have refactored the existing E2 test with the test of steps because It will be helpful when a test fails, then the report generated by the playwright will point out which step has been failed, as well as it will be easy for the other contributors to uh, understand the workflow at which step, what kind of action is happening. Like maybe like if and I see the available connections are displayed in the table, it will check whether the connections are displayed in the table. Like that's all. And the second one is overflow issue in the navbar section, especially in the connections page only. Actually, there is a bug in this Z index actually. So I tried to fix it, but using a hard coded value of 1100. But Rudraksh advised me to use the utils of the Z calculation. But after using the Z calculation, the problem doesn't resolve. What I have done is I have removed the Z index, and the default value of the material has taken the default value as 1100. Maybe I showed the demos will.
Okay, okay. So this issue is particularly in connection space, not in other places,
Yeah,
right?
particularly on the connections page. After removing the Z index, it doesn't affect any other pages as well. I have tested.
And you also tested the smaller version of it, like in mobile
Yeah,
view.
yeah. I shared the demos in the issue section.
Thank you, Senthil. Other than this, is there any other item? Because we will also discuss your E2E test item in tomorrow's CI meeting also. So if there is any more item that you want to share with.
Oh, no other items. That's all.
Thank you, Senthil. If there is any review for Senthil, you can unmute yourself or quickly give a question on the chat. So share this. Jose, I think you have next item on support redirect to the UI page. So you can, yeah.
So basically, this issue is about like how Meshery server and Meshery remote provider handles the redirection. So after the basic redirection, that is when you are not when you come into uh, localhost, like the Meshery remote provider, then you get a login screen, and after you get out with the screen, either you get redirected to your Meshery clouds, Meshery local Meshery server, or if you're coming from Playground, you get redirected here. But if you are suppose like in your remote provider account and you are just browsing the catalog or your my designs view, and you if you want to like if you click on this, basically click on this opening playground option, and suppose you are not auth with your Meshery server, then what happens is that you get first redirected to your remote provider, and or you first get redirected to your remote provider, and after that, after the login process is completed, Meshery server doesn't open this particular page, but instead lands you on the dashboard, Meshery dashboard. And similar thing happens when someone has shared this design and you get a link in your email, and when you click on this email after the redirection, the it doesn't open this extension, it just lands on this dashboard. So in this enhancement, what will happen is, for example, like I have this link which is a similar opening playground link, but I will open this in incognito tab, so just to demonstrate that now the redirection is happening correctly. So I choose my provider, I get back to the uh, remote provider authentication page, and after the sign up, instead of getting redirected to the dashboard page, I will get to the extension or whatever the link I have chosen. I will get redirected to that. So yeah, this is the crux of the enhancement. Any questions?
I think we also passing the ID in like in the URL. Is this like I was thinking like if ID is already in the URL, we will be also loading that design in the canvas. Or
Yeah, I think the link is invalid, or basically I think my local Meshery extension. So I'm on local build, so my local Meshery extension is like I was editing with it, so it might be some changes might have done, and that's why it is not rendering the design. Ideally, if you if you are in uh, what I mean to say is that this link works, so it opens the design as well as loads the design inside the mesh map. The reason it is not happening for me is because of my local changes inside mesh map extension. So yeah. Any other questions? That's it. So this was the update. Thank you.
I mean, the playground link doesn't work. It doesn't load up the design.
No, it works. I'm saying that in my local mesh map, I have made some changes.
Click the playground link again and show that it loads, because it doesn't load. You just clicked it and it didn't load, right?
Because like this design doesn't exist. This is the design from local cloud server. I will choose the
Oh, if it's from local cloud server, then yeah, then that makes sense. It doesn't exist in the system, so.
yeah. It clones the design because it is a catalog item and then starts the render. It renders the design. This is a big design, so
yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't start the render, does it?
yes, it does. It's good.
Okay, good. Is Abid with us? No. It'd be great if we indicated that to the user that it was actually loading.
I think there is the snack bar present, but the snack bar of like clone and design updated gets overlapped. So, but yeah, something needs to be done here so that it doesn't get overlapped because the snack bar of rendering is different.
So literally, the two messages sit on top of each other. They don't sit adjacent to one another.
No, yes, they are on top of each other.
Huh. Is anyone following up on that? Do we need to open up an issue on this?
I will open an issue. I don't think anyone is ever for me.
It'd be great if there was a spinner in the center.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other item that you want to discuss? Or?
No, that's all.
Okay. So next item is from Sresha. Sresha, I think this is an item from docs.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
usually we discuss docs and website items in website meeting, but in
All
case
right.
if there's any urgent item that we should discuss.
No, it was a quick fix. I have fixed it already. So if you want me to show it, if it's working on the local, then I can, or I can come in the other meeting as well.
Sure, thank you, Sresha. I think if we will come back to it later, maybe in the last of the meeting.
All right, all right.
Ankita, maybe you would like to share out your update on Meshery Cloud catalog card version tag consistent.
Sure. Just a moment. I think I can share my screen now. If it's visible. Yep. Thank you for the confirmation. So, we had to add a tag or a label which had a version that was specifying that we have a version up here. So for the same, I went up ahead and consistent in the catalog card that we have, I added a version tag component kind of a thing, which would allow us to have or add any version that we have that we want to add on any catalog wherever we use it. So a quick demo for that would be, I found that on layer 5 on the integrations page here, when we click on any particular integration, we do display a card. So I just thought of displaying how it would look like. All that we have to do if we take a look in the code snippet is wherever we want to mention a version in the card, all the user has to do is, just a moment up here. Yes. wherever catalog card is mentioned, they need to write down the version and then pass it up. Here I've added it as a static thing, but then item.version would also pass in the version for that card. And whenever we want, the card would be visible in a similar manner. A couple of questions that I did have here is the CSS properties. So based on where do we want to place it or position it, the background, the text color. If we want to do all these sort of changes, then probably we have to create something like a separate tag component or a label component, and then use that inside catalog card. But yeah, that's all that I wanted to share.
For the like tag you are looking for, then place in front of the card to show that tag, right?
Yep. I believe on Meshery Cloud, when we hover on top of a card, this sort of a screen comes up, and that's where the versioning is actually mentioned, the version tag. I did not find a similar interface anywhere else to any code base that I had access to. So I just made an absolute positioning and added it here. The question would be, if on hover or on any catalog card, when we want to display it, the positioning depends from case to case and user to user. So if we want to have a dynamic kind of a tag, then probably I have to create a separate component for it, and then pass like CSS properties to it, and then we can do that sort of dynamic CSS styling if we want to.
I don't think so. We will be needing that. I'm not aware right now what information we are getting on this card, but sure we will be getting the published version, and it should be, if we can find the right place for that tag on the front of the card, then we can like, it should be easy. We
Sure,
don't need any like dynamic CSS or anything.
got it.
Any review or any idea that anyone will give where we can put that tag on the front of the card maybe? Because I don't think so. We are currently allowing user to flip the card on this website.
One thing I like to mention, like I think the API returns the user profile and URL, so we can actually implement the flip card event. So I didn't make that change earlier while developing this component because earlier we didn't supported the user attribute in the API. But since we do it now, then we can implement the back of the card as well, and we can have the same design what we have in Meshery Cloud for this one as well.
And is this card inside the assistant, or are
Yeah, it's
we...
consistent.
Okay, thank you, Akshay. Okay. Is there any question for Ankita? Thank you, Ankita. Is there any other items? Yeah.
Question. Actually, for guys, is there a mock-up for this? There is, right? Akshay?
I don't think there is one for the dark mode I created. The
It
dark
doesn't matter
mode.
if it's dark mode or not. I mean, there's a mock-up that includes where the version goes, right?
Yeah, there is a
Okay,
mock-up for that.
what's the discussion about? Why are we discussing putting it up in the upper right-hand corner? Akshay,
Right.
you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know why we put it there.
Okay. Are you offering that feedback or?
No, I offered like we can have the same design what we have for Meshery Cloud, and we can just put it where it is in Meshery Cloud cards now because we support the backflip because the details on the backflip were fetched separately. That's why I didn't implemented that part. But since we fetch the user details and all the other things, so we can implement the version on the back of the card.
Ankita, you're given Akshay's repeating, I guess, the same feedback. So that's clear, and you're sure what you should go do?
No, I got the point. We need to have it up here at the bottom left corner. when we flip the card, it should be there. We are okay with the static positioning. I don't need to put up a dynamic CSS property up here. That's what I interpreted out of the feedback. So please correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't get that from Akshay's feedback. I didn't know that it was to be positioned in the lower left-hand corner. I got it from the feedback at looking at the mock-up, but Akshay, that's what you're asking her to do? Or?
Yes.
Okay. If you go back to the mock-up real fast.
Sure.
So I don't see it on the front of the card. Where's it gonna go?
Like when we hover, it flips, the card flips, and on the back of the card, we can show the version as we do in layers
Oh,
of
okay.
cloud.
So where the cards are gonna flip on that site that we were just looking at?
Yes.
Okay. Do they flip today?
No.
Okay. So what site is this? Do we have these on this site? We do, right?
Yeah, it's Meshery.io.
Okay. It's layer5.io. But so right, you guys are retrieving all that same data, Akshay, and you're just doing it dynamically on page load, or
Just dynamically on page load.
what happens if the cloud isn't available?
Then we won't be able to show any designs.
Yeah, I get that. That's not really my question. What else happens if it isn't available?
Like we won't see any designs, or like the heading and all won't appear. They only
The
appear
heading?
if we able to fetch any data.
Great. Okay, so the entire section will not be.
Yes.
Okay. How long does it wait before it does that?
I think it depends upon the network.
Okay. Well, I mean, how many? If you're going to show 20 cards, it might take a little while.
Oh,
that might be.
it like it is paginated, so it shows after 5, or I think after 5 it shows a show more button, and then you can fetch more and more.
Okay. We're not fetching the entire design, just the metadata about the design.
Mhm.
Is that true or no?
I think we only like get the metadata only for the designs.
Okay. So you got to be sure. Just say, I don't know if you don't know. Are you sure?
I'm not sure,
Okay, that's fine. Just say, I don't know. Why am I asking though?
because if we are fetching the whole design, then it might slow up the site to load those details.
Yeah, and then you might not. It sounds like you haven't, or this particular section, and I think this is yours, is may not give consideration to that, right? If there's quite a large design and it takes longer to load, but it's still going to load versus them not being available at all. There's a difference in the way that you would handle the empty state, or consider that it's empty versus slow. That's great. This is something good to verify. Maybe Ankita can, as she works through this, she can help in that regard. So these do flip over today. Just remind me.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. But you guys are looking at making it a standard part of the component, the ability to flip.
Yes.
All right. Great. And there's no colon, by the way. There's no punctuation after the V. There's no white space either, just the V.
Got that. Sure. I'll take a note of it and I'll change the same.
Great. I want to make sure you guys are giving the right feedback that Ankita can push forth. Great.
Thank you, Ankita. I guess, is there any other question for Ankita or Akshay?
No, it's all good.
So I think Avani, you are next. You can share your screen.
Okay.
Sorry, I think I shared the wrong. Okay, so I'm currently working on the DAPA tutorial, and so I'm almost done with it. I think the only thing left is trying to use the diagrams to actually explain the interactions between the this is not showing. Okay, to show the interactions between the components, the components and the control plane and the sidecars. So I did this diagram at first just to try and simplify it, because I realized that the last diagram I did was actually not right because of the annotations. But from this embedding here, the text boxes are not showing anything. So I think I would just replace this. This is supposed to be the control plane, and this is supposed to be the Redis store that would connect to the DAPA state store components. So I think in this case, for now, I'm just going to replace this with the actual Helm charts. Like the way I did last time, just replace it with this and put it in sections. So another thing is, while I was testing this out on Meshery and deploying it, there was an issue because the components were still deployed in the default namespace. So there are some RBAC issues. So still the same thing with having to put all of them in the same namespace and having to change the namespaces of components one by one. But so in this case, I just had to deploy DAPA on my terminal, and then I deployed the rest with Meshery. So that's all for me.
Thank
Who's
you,
there?
Bhavan. Yeah.
Who's there? Do you have any feedback?
Just a question that Avni, like the designs that the screenshot for the designs that you have, instead of you can use the embeddings directly, because
Okay.
you can export them.
Yeah, okay, so I asked actually because I think for now the embeddings only show at the bottom side, but he says he's going to do the updates so that I can directly embed all these here.
Okay.
So before then, I just use these as placeholders.
And other thing that is like you have explained beautifully, but in this designs, I see like there are a couple of relationships like the hierarchical relationships, network, and some RBAC relationships. So have you tried to explain those as well, or just link to them inside Meshery docs? Because relationships are also like core of MeshMap, so it would be better to give a highlight to them or just refer to external source like, or Meshery docs.
Okay, okay, I will.
Yeah, I want
Then,
to come together really well. Sometimes you might end up wanting or having to take a screenshot if it's going to be like of the configuration tooltip that might not necessarily come through in the embed. And so other times you might, hopefully not, but you might end up having to take a screenshot when the embedded file doesn't actually include the right visualization.
Yeah.
Not hopefully, though, as you stumble into that, you'll just raise up those enhancement requests so that the embedded version looks just like the snapshot version. One thing on these calls that we can do is we should get you an invite to the CNCF hub, and that way you can display this in context of the CNCF hub on the Meshery dev meeting. That'd be nice. Do you know why there's a broken image link just above this embed? Is that just a...
Oh, no. I think I probably made a mistake here. Yeah.
Great. So if you go back to the top again, this is the sort of the first sample app that someone would use as they go to use Dapper. Hello Kubernetes is the name of the sample app. And so nice. So part of that, just a quick look back over the structure of this learning path is they need to first deploy the Dapper control plane, which is I think what you have snapshotted here. And you show about how to import that at a particular version, deploy that, and then you go about the process of creating and deploying the sample app. I don't know to what extent on the left-hand side that we can have those headings, in the sidebar.
So basically dividing everything here into sections instead of one long here, right?
If it just has an outline of like H2s and above or H3s and above. Right,
Sorry,
Akshay?
sorry.
Akshay, actually, let me redirect this feedback. Akshay, is this not being used correctly, or has this not been developed very well?
Oh, we don't support to segregate using the H1 and H2s.
I'll propose that as an enhancement. What do you think about it? Okay, think about it and get back to me then, if you would. So,
Okay.
Awani, great. Anybody else have feedback for Awani? So Awani, you're working through a learning path. This is like a chapter in the path, in the overall initiative that you're going through. So this particular learning path is called Mastering Kubernetes for Engineers. This chapter happens to be specifically on Dapper. Awani and a couple of the rest of you are, I think, on the agenda to present to Dapper at their community call in a couple hours. So this is great. This is something to be presented. Does anybody else, like Awani, is there room for other people to contribute other chapters? And is there anybody interested in doing so? Yeah, so I'll ask one question at a time. Awani, is there room for anybody to contribute other chapters?
Yes, definitely.
Anybody on the call interested? Where would they go to? I'm going to ask two questions in a row, so be ready. Is there anybody interested? And where would they go to take a look at what's needed or where they can contribute, Awani?
So probably Meshery docs, the tutorials, because and probably the other learning paths that have been published too. So the Edge Stack tutorial and the WordPress tutorial. So anyone that has any infrastructure or any DevOps tool that they would like to represent using MeshMap. And so basically any infrastructure they would like to represent, they could just use MeshMap to try out the deployment and write a tutorial on it.
Great, cool. All right. There's a link to a currently being developed learning path, mastering Meshery. It has a number of chapters defined, many more defined than there are people who are working on them at the moment. So if you're interested, there's a link in Zoom chat. Oh, Ani, nice work. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vani. Is there any other item that you want to share?
No.
Okay. Are you sharing or I? Vani, I missed. Are you going to share other item or?
Oh, okay. No, I said no.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so next item is from Deepak on focused on publishing designs. Deepak, is there any item that you want to share on this, or you are giving update that you are focusing on publishing more Meshery catalog designs? You want to share about how to publish a design? Is Deepak with us today?
I don't
Uh,
see him.
Deepak, are you with us? Okay, no issue. In case if you have any issue, or we will circle back to your item. Let's go to the next topic from Shub. Shub, do you want to share about add troubleshooting guide call out to operator page? He should be with us today. Okay, I don't think so. He's with us.
Yeah,
Arpit? Okay, okay. You can share
Yeah.
his screen.
Yeah, you were saying to me. I just heard about okay, let me share my screen.
We can continue. We can, guys, we can keep going until Deepak is ready. If he wasn't on the call and he's not ready to present, then keep going.
Okay. Deepak, I made, I thought Shub was speaking. Deepak, we can circle back to your item.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
also Shub is not. Okay, Shub also is not present, so we will go to the Arpit. Arpit, you want to share about your item? He is also not. Shlok, you can go ahead and share about your item.
Yeah. So there's a small update. So I was working on, sure. Yeah. So I was working on this particular thing regarding the landscape.cncf .io, and there we had uh, we proposed a solution of we proposed to add a reference architecture on the l.cncf.hub cncf.io. So this is the PR regarding that. I have made this PR under the upstream URL, upstream repo, and this is the particular issue, and the PR is done over here. So
So can I show
that's
it like how it looks?
yeah, I can show. I can show the video. I don't have
Sure.
it right now. I can show it. So
So basically that the the crux of the issue is, so as Deepak is like publishing catalogs, and many other project maintainers will start publishing the catalog items. So, and as you might, some of them might be aware that every Meshery has models, and it has they belong to different categories and subcategories, and the current landscape, if you see, is also structured based on that. So there is like a close link between how models are categorized as well as the how landscape CNCF landscape is presented. So basically, I think Stroke is trying to represent. So Stroke is trying to represent those catalog items in the landscape V2. So all those catalog items that share similar models and technologies and categories, they would be listed here inside the CNCF landscape. So yeah, you can just quickly access it.
This
So
is the
like
video.
yeah, it is nice.
Yeah. So you'll get the link to the specific catalog. So there will be top 3 catalogs of that particular model. And then you'll have a show more link that will redirect to that specific technology. In this case, we are seeing the Argo CD and the catalog that are of the technology Argo CD. So yeah.
Look, what does this classes mean, like official, verified, and like, is there any relevance? Like what class of catalogs are shown inside this CNCF landscape? Or
Means I could give, but I don't have enough better information regarding that. So I think you could explain it better.
no, I'm just asking that inside this enhancement that you have made. So the
Yeah.
catalog items that get listed are of particular class of like only verified catalog items get listed or only official catalog items get listed.
No, so whenever you hit the endpoint and whatever the top 3 results are of the endpoint that are being displayed. So if in future we want to just show the verified one, we'll need to change our backend API and that could just give us the data. So it's basically our API and we are just fetching the data from there. So yeah, the way we get the data from the API, it will automatically be represented over here, the top 3 one. Yeah.
Is there any other review for Shlok? Okay. Thank you, Shlok. Is there any other item that you want to share?
No, I have been working, but I don't have any update right now.
Thank you. Rudraksh, you can share your screen.
Sure, just a second. So I only have 2 updates. Previously, our layer cloud provider was having bugs in our visibility filters and search and pagination. I fixed that for all 3 of our sections. And in Meshery, when this button of ours takes us to our configurator, which allows us to configure our designs and do other operations on them. So before it was just showing an empty design, which is obviously not the desired behavior. Now it shows the correct design. And on going back, it takes us to the designs page, which was earlier bugging out and taking us to the dashboard page instead. Uh, the button itself was also not consistent with our other buttons and wasn't getting highlighted. And that is also fixed. So these are my only 2 updates for now.
Thank you, Rudraksh. Is there any question for Rudraksh?
Do you consider that there's a point by which maybe we would shift to an ellipse for the actions? So potentially not showing all the actions at once, but just the ability to call them up.
That does make sense to me because they do feel a bit cluttered for now. But yes, we should be showing some shortened version of the actions collection.
Anybody else agree?
Sorry?
Does anyone else agree? Avril, do you agree? Ankita,
So,
Husseina, anybody? Maybe Rudraksh, if you were sharing your update, you could point out what we're discussing. Husseina, what do you think? Any feedback? Okay, maybe Husseina, you're not there. So, Avril, any thoughts? How about Kevin? I'm dumbfounded that all of you are dumbfounded. You're either awestruck and amazed by what's going on, or you have no opinion. Hmm.
I think I have a small opinion. Maybe we can have that action in a small screen. Let's say, let's take an example of this screen, the width of the Drudge screen. If we have this kind of width, we can like the table can support dynamic showing. If we have enough space, we can show the icons directly. Otherwise, we can have ellipse. And table should have view like this implementation should not be done manually for every page. Like data table should support this by default for the actions. So it will make sure that every action on every place has similar behavior.
Anything else, Lee and Yash, or anyone else? I think there is one small item that is like similar action buttons are not grouped together. So like that validate and deploy are like not close to each other. So I think those similar action buttons which deals with workloads and deployment and everything needs to be grouped together. So that maybe you can take this small item and push in the
Sure,
same pair.
sure.
I think next is Tarun. Tarun, can you share your updates?
Yeah. So first item is the filter space RTK migration of the hooks. So you can see in the base use gate filter query has been replaced and all of the mutations have been replaced. So only the only confusion I had is there is a to data fetch for deploy and undeploy for filters, but I cannot find it in the UI, so I didn't touch it. And there is a user pref data fetch, and that's not doing anything, and it's doing a set state without any state. That's not happening. So I didn't migrate it also. So if someone can look at it and review, that would be good. Any more questions?
That endpoint that user preference is already valid in query and an article query. If it's not being used, you can remove that from filter. If it is being used, you can directly use it from filter. But it's been added.
Okay, I'll remove it and see something. And about the deploy and undeploy, can anyone clarify about it?
There is a deploy and undeploy query also. Like, is it supported for only patterns or filters also?
No, filters are not for cannot be deployed into.
So should I just leave it as it is with the data files or remove it?
No, remove it. Remove.
Okay, I'll remove it with the update. That's all. This. Anyone?
And also, if there are any action buttons in the UI for deploying filters, also remove those.
There's no button. Only the data fetch is happening. Only
Okay.
there is a function with the data.
Okay.
So that's all of the filter space. Next update is regarding the catalog request in Meshery Cloud. So we are getting we are getting in this request we are getting the content data for the publishing, but user data is not coming. Only the name is given from the only name and email is given. No user ID is given or any user data is given. That's the problem with the catalog request. Catalog request
Okay.
query.
So you are requesting that catalog
Yeah.
request query should return that user information.
Yeah, to link with uh, user avatar. We need the user ID. That's the issue in this.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I will
that's all.
consider that and I will help you in that.
Okay.
Is there any question for Saru?
Yeah.
Saurabh, we have next item from you. So Saurabh, you want to share share an update on inline error handling?
Sure. Yes, I'm sharing. Suppose I'm sharing my screen. Well, there was a meshkit error in which remedy and probable cause was missing during the design deploy. So I have changed that, and I have got a proof from Shlok as well. Here is the new probable computer. So feedback for this.
Saurabh, your voice is breaking, but
So,
and
sorry, Saurabh, even then you have updated the probable cause and suggested remission. The details are not still up to the mark. So it still says that failed to find Kate's handler. So I gave an example in I think one of the meetings or in the Slack thread that how to identify like okay what can go inside the details by understanding the context in which this error is thrown. So maybe you can utilize that. I will share it again.
Okay.
But still it needs improvement.
Sure. And another is I have added the handler for the connection by ID as a provider function was there, but I haven't tested yet and made the PR. So after testing it, I'll make the PR. Yeah,
getting
this was the
connection,
update.
getting connection by ID in the Meshery.
Yeah, in Meshery.
I think
We had the provide.
What?
Yeah. We had the provider function, but due to capabilities were missing in the capabilities.go by the remote provider. So we haven't added the handler function. So that's the reason it was missing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Saurabh. Is there any other item that you want to discuss?
Thank you. Yash. No, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, I'll share this. Just a second, share the screen. Okay, so thank you everyone. We are on time and we have covered almost all the items. Okay. So I will wait for 5 more seconds if there is any urgent item that we want to discuss, and then we will wait, or otherwise we will wrap up today's call. Okay, so considering there's no any urgent item, thank you everyone for joining us today. We discussed many items and covered. If we missed your item, do make sure you share about that in the Slack, and we will sure to discuss that. And also, before wrapping up the call, we have tomorrow. Tomorrow we have the Meshery build and CI meeting. So those who are interested in Kubernetes and building and CI/CD, it's a great meeting for you to join, and we will be discussing agenda items regarding that. We also have a newcomers meeting tomorrow. So if you are new to today's call and if you want to get involved more in the community, you can join the newcomers call and get more familiar with the community and will get you familiar more with the meshmates and the maintainers. So, okay, thank you everyone for joining us today. Yeah, thank you everyone. Bye.